and welcome to episode 84 of Comics and Us. I am TJ.
And I'm Chris.
And I'm Lumpy.
And this is the review show that reviews comics chronologically. Kind of. Alright. Going into Batman number 17 here. It was released... is this the July-August issue? Or June-July? June-July issue. Released in July 1943. The executive editor was Whitney Ellsworth. The cover artist was Jerry Robinson and George Russo's. I'm just gonna speed through all the credits for all the stories, so we get them out of the way. The first story was written by Don Cameron, penciled by Bob Kane, inked by Jerry Robinson and George Russo's, lettered by George Russo's. Second story was written by Don Cameron, penciled by Jack Burnley, inked by Jack Burnley and Ray Burnley. It was lettered by Betty Bentley. Third story was written by Don Cameron, penciled by Jack Burnley, inked by Jack Burnley and Ray Burnley, lettered by Betty Bentley. And the last story was written by Joseph Green, penciled by Bob Kane, inked by Jerry Robinson, and lettered by George Russo's. And that's that for that.
I didn't hear anybody new. Seemed like just about the same characters.
Yeah, not really. So, who wants to do the cover?
I like the cover. I'll do the cover.
We covered the cover last week.
Yeah, let's do it again. Batman and Robin are on the back of a bald eagle, and they're throwing peace signs in front of a moon, and there's like fighter planes around. It says, Keep America flying. Keep the American eagle flying. Buy war bonds and stay. This is a running theme through this comic.
Yeah, the propaganda is high in this one.
Yeah, but it's not terrible. It's like, they throw it in, but they don't...
They mention it, but they don't beat you with it. I agree. Yeah. They mention it, but it's not like overwhelming.
That's because they're saving it for next week's story.
Well, we talked about this issue last week, didn't we? Didn't you? Oh no, you were talking about story for next week. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know if we did that on episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that might have been afterwards.
You might be right.
We're pulling back the curtain here.
Pulling back the curtain.
Anyway, this comic is still 10 cents. And, yeah, anything else to say about the cover?
Superman publication. Nope.
Hold on, the cat's going to crawl through the crinkly tunnel right now, right while you're asking that. Mm-hmm.
Why does he have crinkly tunnels and chirpy birds and stuff floating around while he's podcasting? Put him in a bucket and put him outside the door until you're done.
When I do that, he just scratches at the door. I can't win with this cat. Anyway, yeah, that's all we have to say about that, right, Vanilla? Okay. I thought he was going to run through it again. He did.
Alright, moving on to the first story, which is called The Batman's Biographer. Lumpy, what is happening on this splash page?
A Ben Franklin-looking guy has a quill and a lantern, and he's writing in a book, and there's some miniature guys with guns, and some little, like, Batman trinkets, and Batman in the background swinging on a rope. Hey, I'll be honest, this time they look less like shrunken people and more like figures.
Like toys or something, right?
To me, yeah, that's what it looks almost more like. His room is decorated with these figures.
Which we find out later that it is.
It kind of is, yeah, actually.
Yeah. So maybe it's canon.
Yes, this is canon. Batman is black on top with red writing.
You okay?
It says Batman with Robin.
No, I was looking up when they stopped using quills.
Oh.
Because I just noticed that was a quill on there, and it was like, wait a minute, why? That's 1940. Should we be past quills at that point?
But I would think we were.
They never stopped using them. There's still writers that like to use them now, isn't there?
Yeah, but I want to know when they went out of fashion.
Okay.
It looks like they stopped being regularly used in the 19th century.
I was going to say in the 1700s, I think.
Well, the 19th century is into 1700s.
Is that the 1800s?
Yes.
Okay, right, because
20th century.
1900s is 20th, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the first century was 0 century, so then you got to start with 1 at the 100th century.
So in the early 1800s, I guess in most of the 1800s they were still using it.
I guess, I don't know. It just says it stopped being popular in the, what did I say, the 18th century, 19th century? Yeah, something like that. All right, anyway, go ahead. What were we talking about?
Well, we're done now. So.
Yeah, we did the splash page.
Okay, we're done.
The splash page was kind of canon because it's like trinkets and figures and stuff that he collects.
Okay, gotcha. So we open up in a park where Benjamin Franklin is telling kids stories about Batman.
And Jughead's listening, but he put on a little weight.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true.
Kids are sitting on his lap.
Yeah, but as usual, Bruce and Dick are just wandering about and happen upon hearing this old man's story. And so they come up to him and they're like, "Hey, you like Batman and Robin?" He's like, "Yeah, I love them. I'm writing a book about them. You want to go back to my house?" And they're like, "Sure, sure."
People are very trusting in the 40s there. Come on back. I want to show you my stuff. I noticed Batman and Robin are now wearing the colors all the time.
I was going to say Robin at least always wears his red and yellow.
Yeah, Batman's wearing a blue suit now, too.
I don't know what you're talking about. All I see is Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson.
This is true.
Anyway, so they're going away, and then we get a panel of this kid saying, "Who do you think you are spoiling our story?" As if he's going to come back and do something, but this is the last we see of him.
Yeah, we don't see him again. And he's got a different hat on, because that's the kid that looked like Jughead in the one, and now he's got a regular hat on.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know. Anyway, so Benjamin Franklin takes Dick and Bruce back to his house and shows them a giant picture of that he has of Batman and Robin. He's got a bunch of news articles displayed on the wall. He's got like a batarang.
You know what's weird? He says that all this stuff costs a lot of money, so he had to move into this little attic room to make up for it.
Yeah. Sounds like this guy's got a problem.
Yeah.
He's a collector.
Anyway, the headlines are Robin rescues Batman from killers, which could be like 17 different stories. Batman shuffles Joker back to prison, which is, I think that's happened like 19 times.
Yep.
Yeah,
and then
pretty vague.
And then the Batman blasts Nazi spy ring, which happened like last Batman issue, I think happened.
There was a couple Nazis though too, wasn't there?
Yeah, but most of them they're like what if stories or stupid things like that.
True.
But I think the last one they actually did do a spy ring. I think so. Yeah. On the first story, there's a reference to the fourth story of Batman number 13. It was a few issues ago. So, yeah, so he shows them Robin's cape that he lost them during one caper. He shows, like, a rope that Batman, he had got from I guess he stole it from the police.
I was going to say, I actually thought this was kind of cool, but reading it, I was like, wait, but how did he get this? Like,
yeah.
he stole evidence.
That this guy was maybe going to die, and they were going to take all this stuff and put it into the Batcave. So or
he was going to give it to them. I thought the same. Yeah. Like, this is stuff going into their collection.
Yeah, but, like, the rope was used to tie up the Penguin, and then the cops had it, so I don't know how they got it. And he's talking to him about his book and how he can't really finish the book until he actually meets Batman and Robin, because how can he really know them if he doesn't have met them, you know? So Bruce and Dick leave and say, "We have a strong feeling you meet them, don't worry." And they plan to visit them tomorrow as Batman and Robin. Meanwhile, outside of a jewelry store, a criminal known as the Conjurer, which this is his only appearance, so...
Weird, too, because we got like a couple pages first before we got to the Conjurer.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and I like the Conjurer. Surprised they didn't do anything else with him.
So, the Conjurer is outside a jewelry store, and he says he's magic, and he can destroy everyone with a thought. And then two thugs at the back of the crowd set off fireworks. And
I was going to say, are they fireworks? They never really say what it is. You see booms in the sky, so I'm assuming it's fireworks, right?
The one guy literally says, "Ready with the fireworks, creeper."
I guess I missed that one. Okay. So it's fireworks. Okay.
Yeah. It's fireworks.
Yeah, it's fireworks.
And so they set off the fireworks, which scares everybody. They go onto a rampage, a riot. Yeah, riot.
Which is strange. I didn't understand how the riots automatically start instead of people just running.
Yeah, I don't know. The riots are enough to distract everybody. This is not the first riot we get either.
Right. It's not the only either.
And so, as the people arrive in, the Conjurer and his goons steal a bag of jewelry and start to run away. But meanwhile, Bruce and Dick just happen to wander by that particular jewelry store as this is happening.
Listen, they're very lucky.
And a lightning change of costumes, and they're on the scene as Batman and Robin.
Yeah, they got to say that, because in the beginning, they were taking a long time to change, and now they're getting lightning changes.
Yeah, now they change so fast.
Yeah, they've been practicing for a while, though, too.
Yeah, we talked about this in the last one where it was like, it used to take a half hour. Now it's seconds.
I just like that we talked about it and now they're mentioning lightning changes.
So, Batman and Robin show up. There's a bit of a scuffle between the guys, but the Conjurer uses like a Star Trek laser gun to shoot smoke, ammonia fumes at Batman and Robin to blind them, and they get away.
You ever smell ammonia? It's pretty bad.
It's potent.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Very potent.
And then I just want to point out the next 6 panels are just covered in text.
Yeah, it's a book.
Yeah, I got to that page and was like, oh no. Like, you only see half of people's heads sometimes. It's that much text.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
So, back at the Conjurer's hideout, he's like, how are we going to deal with Batman? If only we can figure out how he does what he does. And then his minion named Creeper, which is actually a superhero in DC, I think. Yeah. I think it's Jack Ryder who becomes the Creeper. Anyway, not here or there. He says, I don't know, maybe we can get someone to help with figuring out Batman. He said he was walking through the park one day and he heard this old kid talking about this old guy talking to 2 kids about stories about Batman. He should know a lot. And he's like, hey, that's a good idea. So he visits Benjamin Franklin and pretends to be a news reporter. And Benjamin Franklin tells him all the tricks that Batman has used against his and capers.
He tells them about how certain ones actually, some of their tricks worked against Batman.
Yes. So, that later, the Conjurer's goon knock out, I think it's a police officer? Could be a security guard?
Yeah, it might be a security guard.
It's got, like, the baton thing that he's twirling around, so maybe security, too. I don't know.
Anyway, they steal his uniform so they can get into a bank. And the uniform tricks the security guard or cop in there, and they beat him up and tie him up. Meanwhile, Batman and Robin just happen to be driving by and find the unconscious police officer, because they just happen to be in that part of the city. And I'm not sure how they get to... Oh, they see the Conjurer and his goons walking out of the bank, and so they go after him. But no, a chicken wire falls from...
Yeah, it's the chicken wire that the Penguin used to catch them before.
Yes.
He got that idea from the...
old man.
He called him Benjamin Franklin, but I'm not sure what his name is.
I don't remember what his name is either. He does have a name.
Yeah, but he says the chicken wire fell from the telephone wires.
It does say that they're connected to the telephone wires or something.
They sprung a trap.
I don't know how they managed that trap, though.
They don't go into it. I just mean it's supposed to be like...
It seems like pretty dangerous move to hook the chicken wire to the telephone wires.
They hooked it to the telephone wires, and then they made a phone call that they knew was going to go through those wires and made it vibrate and drop.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's as good an explanation as any, I guess.
It works.
Anyway, so the Conjurer's group gets away, and Batman and Robin are like dumbfounded that they fell for this trick again, and they're like, how did they, I'm like stumbling here.
They want to know, they realize that it's the same thing that the Penguin did, and they want to know how he could have possibly found out about it.
Right. So, they just wander a few blocks, I guess, because it's just, and sure enough, after prowling a few blocks, they find some guys up in a building, I forget what it is. It's some kind of broker's building, I think it is, they said earlier. This is their plan. They were robbing it. And Batman and Robin see the light. So they climb the building. And they're about to use a rope to get over. But Batman's like, oh, I'm not falling for that trick.
That's the same thing. They found out the Benjamin Franklin guy told them that Batman will swing from the other building. So they set it up on purpose up there.
Yes. I don't know what the trap was.
I'm not sure either, because they weren't even up there.
No, because they see that it doesn't work and they drive away in their car.
Yeah, they weren't even up there. They just left.
So, I don't know what the plan was, but we're moving on. Batman gets in his car with Robin, and they go and visit Benjamin Franklin. And Batman's like, hey, we got caught in this thing, and by this guy, and the Benjamin Franklin guy feels all sad and heartbroken, but doesn't admit that he did it. And Bruce is at home later with Dick, says he couldn't bring himself to blame the old guy for what happened. But the old guy's...
Weird. Like, wouldn't you have said, oh man, I just talked to a guy and told him this?
Yeah, but his heroes
And he's embarrassed in front of them to tell him, like, hey, I screwed up. And now he doesn't know what to do because he messed up.
But
so
now
he feels ashamed.
Yes. Now he packing up all of his stuff, and I guess he plans on giving them back to Batman?
So I kind of thought that he was leaving. Like, he's packing his stuff up and leaving so that the guy doesn't come back to try to get more information from him. That's what I got out of it. I don't know exactly, but...
It doesn't work.
He tells them he's gonna have to tell them. And they're gonna think that he's a daughter and old fool. I don't know. Anyway, while he's doing that, the Conjurer shows up at the Benjamin Franklin's house and he says, hey, you wanna tell me more stuff about Batman? And he's like, no, I'm not telling you. And then he pulls a gun on him and says, you're telling me. And he's like, yeah, I don't want to die. I'll tell you what you want to know. So
I'll do whatever you want. Just don't kill me.
Yep. And so they put him in the car and they drive on. And then the narrator does the narrator thing.
And Batman and Robin show back up at Benjamin Franklin's house.
But he's not there.
But he's gone.
Right. And they don't know what to do, but they know of... Where are they going? The Van Gogh Mansion, for some reason. An exclusive group gathered on the lawn of the Van Gogh Mansion. And Batman and Robin had already... Okay.
Somebody fell down steps.
The cats are attacking each other behind me.
So Batman and Robin already were planning on the scouting out the Van Gogh Mansion because, at this point you think as much crime that happens to rich people in this town, they would stop getting together with these big lavish parties and getting robbed by the supervillains.
They don't have nothing else to do. We talked about this before. They don't have televisions in every house.
Yeah, and they like it. They like it robbed.
Yeah, they want to get robbed. Yeah, they want to get robbed. And what's Batman going to do if they don't?
Yeah.
I mean, the criminals will still be criminals. I'm just saying, don't throw a giant lavish party at you on your front lawn.
Or don't advertise it. Tell your friends to come, but don't put it in the newspaper that you're having this giant party with all this stuff. Like, that's the problem.
Well, predictably, the Conjurer shows up here, and for some reason they give us a blueprint of the entire lawn.
Well, they're telling you how they're going to set the cars up and stuff, so that they leave the one car ready for Batman to take to follow them.
Oh, right, because Benjamin Franklin told them to put an X time bomb in the car, so when the Batman would take that car, to chase them when they try to get away, which is a stupid plan.
Yes, it is very
This guy does not know Batman as well as he thinks he does.
I was just confused. I thought that he was trying to come up with a plan to kind of sabotage this guy, not necessarily tell him the right things to get Batman.
Oh, it's an auction. That's right.
Yes, it's an auction.
Alright. Anyway, but yeah, no, was the plan that he legitimately came up to try and stop Batman. As if Batman doesn't show up in his car or his plane, why wouldn't he just use his own vehicles to chase after him if they ran away?
But there's a running vehicle right there.
Yeah, and plus he wants to get that bomb vehicle away from people. He says that later.
Well, he does, but the initial plan is to have Batman get in that car.
That's what I'm saying, though. I think that's the plan he tells the Conjurer to use, but he doesn't really actually mean. Like, Ben Franklin doesn't actually want that to happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't know. But
I don't know for sure, but that's kind of the way I got it.
I got that he doesn't want it to happen, but I didn't take it that he came up with a bad plan on purpose either.
And I did. I kind of thought he was, like, purposely
No, because the evidence misleading. Doesn't support that at all. His reactions to it doesn't support it at all.
I mean, he hops in that vehicle and drives
because
away.
He got away and realized, I can't let this happen.
See, I think he planned to get away the whole time.
The old man planned to get away.
That's what I thought. That's my interpretation.
No, I don't think so.
I'm just saying.
Anyway, at the auction...
I read it that way.
At the auction, they're selling a gold bust of Apollo, and then suddenly lights just rain into the sky, because that's all it is. It's just lights shooting out from the fountains, which blinds people for some reason.
I thought there was water, so it's like they put these fans or something in the...
I feel like somebody yells it's raining too, don't they?
That's why I said I think they put like something in the fountains to make the water splash all over everybody, plus the lights.
It says, suddenly 2 powerful blasts of air strike the twin fountains, drenching the throng in a white haze of moisture.
Yeah, I don't know what made the water go.
Find out what that is.
It's just water.
Yeah, but what makes the water go all over them?
A blast of air.
Fan trucks.
Yeah,
there they are, fan trucks.
Yeah, they got a blueprint there.
But so they wet the people, and then they shoot brilliant beams of colored light that shatter into countless millions of tiny rays, blinding all eyes with bewildered beauty. So they wet the people and shine a light in their eyes, and that's it. That is that's the extent of this plan.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, Batman and Robin show up from their helicopter, which is still running because they leave it on autopilot up in the air.
Is it a helicopter? What is that thing?
It's a bat plane. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's got like a weird triangle above it or something.
Yeah, it's got a tripod on top.
I don't know. It's the vehicle's design.
It should be a helicopter because it sits in one place.
I know, it does. But the designs never made sense. Yeah, who cares? Right. So, yeah, Batman and Robin show up, and then the Conjurer sees them, and they're like, "Oh no, we gotta go. We're leaving." But the old guy gets away, jumps in the car with a time bomb, and starts driving away. Meanwhile, Batman and Robin beat up the Conjurer and his group, and they capture him and give him over to police, and that's the end of their story. But the comic's still going at this point.
And there's a whole other book.
Yes. It's a lot of words.
Yeah.
The old guy is driving in the car, and Batman shows up. He thinks he's gonna die. He's gonna try and get out of the city, and but if he has to die blowing up this car, he will. But Batman shows up and tells him he's got less than a second to jump out, which is impossible. That car should have blown up.
Well, he did, anyway.
So the old guy jumps out in the Batman's arm. The car blows up. They fly away, and then Batman and Robin are helping him with the book at the end, and they're like...
Batman's going to write a forward for it, I think, or something.
Yeah, Batman's going to write a forward through it, but he likes that... He says that Benjamin Franklin's writing is really good, that he's even thrilled by his own adventures, and he was there. And he's going to write a forward saying that Benjamin Franklin is better than me, essentially.
His name is B. Boswell Brown. We called him Benjamin Franklin the whole book.
Well, TJ started calling him, then I couldn't even remember his name.
I couldn't either. I kept calling him Benjamin Franklin.
This is what I meant by they don't push real hard with the American stuff, but he does call him Fine American.
Yeah, but to be fair to me, Lumpy called him Benjamin Franklin first, and I just rolled with it.
I did.
Well, I did. Benjamin Franklin. I mean, for what we know, Benjamin Franklin looks like. I wasn't around back then, but
you were.
But I just went with it because I knew his name the entire time. But I just
thought he looked like Benjamin Franklin. So to describe him, I thought that would be good for our listeners.
So that became his name.
Yes.
Anyhow, that story's done. Anything else to say on that one?
Well, usually I say, what is going on, but I forgot to look up the synopsis. There we go. Batman number 17. All right, we got appearing in Batman's biographer. Batman, Robin, B. Boswell Brown, single appearance. The Conjurer and the Creeper, both single appearances. Officer Flannery, apparently he died after they hit him because that was his single appearance. And then we got Gotham City, the Bat Rope, the Utility Belt, the Bat Plane, and the Batmobile.
Did you guys like this story?
I did. I liked it. Too wordy, but I liked the story.
It just didn't feel like anything happened in it.
It wasn't awful though. It was.
I know. I agree. It was like nothing happened, but I didn't hate the story.
I liked the thing that the guy was going to be their biographer, and then he messed up and gave them the information. Even though all they really would have had to do was wait for the book to come out, and they could have read the book, and they could.
Yeah, but none of it matters because none of this comes back ever.
Well, that's kind of my thing. I actually liked the Conjurer. I like that he used fireworks and I like the villain, but he never comes back again, so he's just done. So yeah, that's what kind of sucks.
I think a lot of these are written because they want to eventually bring them back if they need to, and then they just forget about them.
And then they forget about him. But I like the Conjurer. I
don't know. The Conjurer just felt incompetent to me.
You think?
City villains, half of them.
Maybe not incompetent's not the right word, but in practice, he's kind of doesn't do anything. He just throws water at you and blinds you with lights.
It worked.
He's basically a magician.
Because it only worked because he's working in Gotham.
Well, yeah, I'll agree with that, yes.
Because anywhere else, this guy would have been caught in 3 seconds. I'm just saying.
I like the Conjurer. I want to bring the Conjurer back. I want to see more fireworks and water spraying. I'm going to write a Batman book.
Okay, let's see how well that goes. I'm kind of stalling here because Uncle Chris needs to go over to the next splash page.
What was the...
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
I went over the first one.
No, you didn't. You went over the cover.
Oh, that's why I decided to do what I was doing, because I thought I went over the cover, so he's got the next cover. Okay. I'm like, oh, I'm good. All right. So, here we go. Splash page. You want me to do it now?
Hold on. The next story is called The Penguin Goes A-Huntin'. Now you may go.
Okay. It's Red Batman with Robin. It says Batman real big and red. And Batman and Robin are jumping a fence on horses, chasing a couple dogs and maybe a fox and a rabbit. Do you see it on the bottom? There's a rabbit.
And a penguin.
And a penguin. And then we got For Victory, buy United States war bonds and stamps.
Not a penguin, the penguin.
Correct.
The penguin looks like he's out of breath, too. He's like got a little puff of like air coming out of his mouth.
This is kind of canon.
Except for the bunny rabbit and the fox.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the penguin's on horseback when it happens, so...
Is it?
Yeah. Anyway. So, we open up this story with the penguin... The penguin has broken out of jail. Again. But he's not doing his normal plot and schemes or something. Instead, he's going to a lecture by this guy named Warden Keyes, which is the warden of his prison that he just escaped from. And the lecture's about on today's greatest criminals and their foes. And so the penguin wants to go hear about himself. So, Bruce and Dick are also at this lecture, and Warden Keyes starts to do his lecture. And he talks about the Joker, the Catwoman, and Scarecrow, how they're the best villains. But the penguin's like, they didn't mention me. And so he asks, what about the penguin? And then the warden says, I'm glad you asked. As the penguin is nothing more than has a one trick mind without his umbrellas, he'd just be another third-rate chiseler with delusions of grandeur.
The penguin sucks.
Yeah, essentially.
Pretty much.
Bruce and Dick suspect the guy who just asked about the penguin, and a cop's there who also recognizes, hey, that's the penguin because it's the penguin.
Yeah, because he didn't even put a disguise on. He just went there as the penguin.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say the nerve of this guy. He would come and call attention to himself, knowing that everyone's going to.
He's not a genius criminal. That's what he's doing.
But what's worse, though, is the cop doesn't recognize him as the penguin. He only recognizes him as the penguin because of his umbrella. As if the small heavyset guy with the top hat and monocle isn't known as the penguin.
Well, he says the nerve of him calling attention to himself when he knows his face is familiar to every cop.
Oh, I just thought it was just the umbrella that it recognized. I don't know why I thought that.
No, he says it's his face.
Anyway, the penguin escapes the place by climbing out a window and jumping out of it. He shoots
his umbrella.
He shoots a gun out of a cop's hand with his umbrella, and then hooks the back of a car and gets away with the back of his umbrella. Which I don't know how he didn't get his shoulder dislocated or broken on that one, but we're moving on.
They already made a point to say that he would be nothing with his umbrella, and then he used his umbrella 5 times to get away.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the penguin's, stewing over this. I'm nothing without my umbrellas, huh? And then he comes across a sporting goods store. And the next day, Bruce is reading the paper because that's how he finds out all of his information. And he finds out the penguin has robbed the sporting goods store and stole fishing rods and guns.
Yeah. I love this. So you know.
Yeah.
So...
And then he practices, too.
He does. He practices fly fishing and catches a goldfish out of a goldfish jar in his, I guess it's his apartment.
That's not easy.
That's serious right there.
Yeah.
He's good.
The penguin's really good with his rod, yes. So he decides he's going to look out the window. Does he go to different places?
I don't know.
Out of his own apartment.
So I thought, is he in one window and just spotting different windows to cast to?
That's what it looks
he
like.
He doesn't have to go anywhere.
He's really good with that.
He's really good. I love this.
So he
just steals money off somebody's desk.
Well, yeah,
multiple desks. He snatches piles of money off of multiple desks.
We're gonna get to that right now. He casts his rod into a brokerage office and steals a bunch of bonds off of the desk as a guy calls in his assistant to take them, and she's like, where is it? Meanwhile, at a loan company, a guy's about to get $80,000 from the loan and as he's signing the papers, but the Penguin steals the money off that desk. And I guess he just keeps doing this for an hour.
His bag is full. Chock
makes
full.
so much money. The bonds were over $1 million, and then it was $500,000. Then it was $80,000 for the papers.
Listen, I think he earned it.
I'm not even going to argue that point. I'm not even going to argue the stupidity of the Penguin's thing here. What I'm going to say is that these idiot people leaving this much money on their desks like this is ridiculous. This is why Gotham people get robbed every week.
Yeah, it's their own fault, kind of.
And this is literally their own fault. This guy's not even looking at the $80,000 on his desk as he's talking to a guy, and it just gets swiped out the window.
Hey, they don't even notice it's gone.
No, until they go to get it, and it's like, hey, where'd that money go?
You would think if this guy's coming into the loan office for $80,000, he would sign all the paperwork and stuff, and then go to a safe and take out the money. Yeah. But no, it's just sitting there on the desk.
I love it.
So the Penguin's kind of rich now, and so he leaves, I guess, his apartment. I don't know where he is, but Bruce sees him walking by, and he's like, I recognize that guy. Maybe it's just some guy that I've met somewhere on one of my vacations or something. Or maybe it's just one of our power brokers that's going on vacation or something.
But he knows the Penguin had just gotten fishing rods.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, does that mean you gotta go after everybody with a fishing rod to think everyone is? That's judgmental, Lumpy. It's judgmental.
Listen, it's a short, fat guy with a monocle. The only difference is he has a yellow cap and a fishing rod.
Yeah, but don't all power brokers are short, fat guys with monocles?
Do you know how many people think I'm somebody else all the time because I'm just a short, fat white guy with a beard? People mistake me all the time, okay?
Exactly, you just proved my point.
So you gotta try everybody. It's the only way you're gonna get away. The only way you're gonna find them.
Yeah, so he just thought it was someone else. Couldn't possibly be the Penguin. Because the Penguin doesn't dress like that. He just literally showed up at a lecture hall as the Penguin. You think he's going to change outfits now?
Yes.
Well, later on he looks like Elmer Fudd, so.
I was going to say the next one, his next outfit is even better. So. His next plan is even better.
Yeah, I like his next plan too.
Anyway, at home, Bruce is listening to the radio because of course he is. This is how he finds out all of his information as well. And he hears about the money being stolen, and Bruce is like, oh, that's why I recognize that guy. World's greatest detective, everyone.
Yep.
Yes.
Too late now. He took his hat off, so you're never going to find him, so.
So anyway, at night, Batman and Robin are prowling the streets, and I'm not sure where they're going and how they end up at this place. Oh, I remember now. Yeah, they're just in their Batmobile cruising around. Meanwhile, a bulky parcel arrives at a mansion. And it is huge. It looks like a giant jewelry box for a ring.
Yeah, it does. It's giant. The two guys got to carry it in. It's got a bow on it the size you would put on a car if you were giving it to someone.
Except the thing that comes out of it is 3 times that size.
Well, we'll get to that in a moment. So, this mansion is throwing a birthday party for the spoiled little brat.
Yes.
Essentially. Because inside the present was a giant rubber wolf, right?
The kid's name is Wolf, though.
Their last name is Wolf.
A birthday present for Wolf's kid. That's what it says. So their last name's Wolf.
Giant rubber thing. So it's made of rubber, so it makes sense you could bend it and squeeze it into that package.
They make a point to say it's rubber so that he can take it with them to their beach house.
Well, and the kid likes balls, apparently, likes rubber things from what I got it out of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know where I read
it. It's full of something.
Yeah, but
we're not this thing.
We're not there yet.
Right.
So they open it up, and the kid doesn't like it. He says he wants a real locomotive and a steam yacht, not this junk. So this next part is what he deserves. I hope he gets all of his toys stolen.
Agreed.
Outside, as the kid's complaining, the Penguin is up in the tree with a hunting rifle.
He's dressed like Elmer Fudd. He's got an Elmer Fudd hat, he's got checkered pants on, and a blue shirt. The Penguin doesn't even look like the Penguin. Why didn't he change his outfit when he went to that party in the beginning?
Well, that's why he's continually changing, because he got caught at the party.
Because he got caught at the party.
This whole plan is because they made fun of him and said, "You're a one-trick pony."
Yeah, so he's being a 5-trick pony instead.
Yeah. And so the penguin shoots the giant rubber wolf from the tree, and inside it is knockout gas, and it knocks out everybody within the party. So his goons come in with gas masks and start stealing it, but Batman and Robin heard the shot and drive to the mansion. They see the guys running out. They get into a fight. They're
They
like,
hear the
"What?"
shot from their house?
They were driving around.
Yeah, they were just driving.
And they heard the shot, and they know exactly where the shot came from the sound.
Because, they just know that stuff, I guess.
Yes.
But Batman asks, "Where's Penguin?" And Penguin says, "I'm up here," and hits him in the head with back in the head with a gun. And then Robin gets knocked out too, and they do get knocked out. So
I didn't realize that was a 2 knockout. Yeah.
Yeah, double knockout.
So that's Batman's 54th knocked out and Robin's 39th. And so they're unconscious for a couple hours apparently because
Hours. So long that Robin's like, Batman, are you ever gonna wake up?
There's no cold water around.
Oh yeah.
That's true. That is true. We find out cold water works in the last story.
Yes, There's no cold water here to wake him up.
You're right. We've discussed this many times. Cold water's the only thing that helps.
Yes.
So the Penguin is bragging that he's going to steal steal the trophies, sporting trophies from a special exhibit that's happening. Okay, I guess that's a thing that happens. I'm done trying to argue.
There's no logic. You can't put logic in. You have to leave that behind.
They break into a tape warehouse and steal all the tape. They do it all the time.
But but he wants Batman and Robin alive because he wants them to see it. I guess.
Or because he wants them to be in the next story. That's why.
That too. But to make sure he doesn't escape, Penguin opens the door, and 2 very beaten and hung dogs come out of it. They kind of look like hyenas to me, but that's just me.
They are drawn kind of like hyenas.
He literally says, "I've starved them and made them vicious for such an occasion as this."
Yes.
They're starving and beaten.
Yeah. Well, he's the Penguin. He's a terrible person.
That's pretty bad, though.
True.
Where's PETA when this stuff's going on, you know?
Did PETA even exist in 19... We're not going down that...
No.
We're not. We're not.
You want to find out? Look it up yourself.
Anyway, so the dogs are going to make sure Batman and Robin don't do anything, because if they move an inch, the dogs are going to eat them. And then something really, really stupid happens.
Yes.
Penguin...
It's not false, though.
Penguin leaves, and then Batman says, "Nice doggy," and they calm down.
Wait.
Okay, that's not the part I was talking about. Yes, he does. He talks to them very nicely.
He talks with a gentle voice, and they calm down.
They say because of Batman's persuasive voice, the dogs calm down. And yeah, I don't think that's what happens. Those dogs eat Batman and Robin alive for moving because they're hungry and starving.
Yeah, but what if Batman says, "You're a good boy"? Who's a good boy? I think they calm down.
Have you ever encountered? You're a mailman. You should know. You should know what angry dogs do.
So next time you come to one, you say,
"Yeah, I'll just say, who's
you
a good
don't
boy?
like the penguin. You don't like the penguin any better than we do, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe we can get together on this."
Your
That's
cat
how I get
agrees.
TJ to calm down. Sometimes TJ gets angry about these comments. We go, "Oh, who's a good boy?
It's
Oh,
a
TJ,
good
you're
boy,
a good boy.
TJ.
Come here, let me ruffle your hair, TJ.
Good
Aw.
boy. They pat you on the head.
Who's a good boy?"
Anyway, this gets dumber.
No, it doesn't. This works.
Okay, this gets dumber because Batman knocks over a candle holder, takes the candle, rubs it against the ropes because where's the explanation?
It's made of tallow. I don't know what tallow is, and I didn't know.
So it's made of suet.
It's the candles are made of tallow, which is nothing more or less than suet.
Yes.
And suet, even when flavored with manila rope, because I guess the rope is manila, it tastes good to the dogs.
So have you ever seen
It says
the
right
blocks?
here, tallow is a rendered form of beef or mutton fat, primarily made of triglycerides.
So you know,
TJ, maybe it's not that stupid.
the blocks of bird seed, like you see it, it's all held together, and they put it outside, like they hang it from a tree for the birds to eat. They use suet for that too.
It says
it's
like animal fat.
It's rendered fat.
My problem isn't that the dog isn't going to eat the rope. That's fine. My problem is that the dog only eats the rope and doesn't try to chew Batman's arm off.
Well, Batman talked to him nicely.
Yeah.
No. This dog is way too intelligent. This dog would be chewing that rope and his freaking arms off right now.
No,
that
you don't
is
like
the problem.
The hand that feeds you.
Yeah, see, Batman.
Batman just fed him.
With his hand, and it's the hand that feeds you.
Batman just fed him.
Yeah. And he said he was a good boy.
And he talked to him very nicely, TJ. So he's not going to bite him.
It was a stupid plan. It's up there with the exploding plants.
I don't know, if you gave a ferocious dog some beef fat, it would probably eat the beef fat and not you.
Yeah, if the beef fat's not tied around your wrist.
He rubbed it on there.
Oh, okay. And you know what? He did rub it on there. You're right. But those candles are also just sitting on the floor. Why don't they just go for the candles that are there?
So there are 2 other candles within reach. Hey, Tony, I'll give you that. I will give you that.
Maybe Batman has anti-dog bite gloves on. He's got anti-dog bite gloves on.
He blocks bullets with them, so...
Yeah.
I don't know. Batman's really mean to animals. I'm really having a hard time believing this, because the next stories tell us that he's mean to animals. We'll get to it.
He has killed multiple animals.
And he's going to kill more in this.
Yeah, he killed an alligator once, and there's another one coming.
No, he did not kill an alligator. That was in a dream.
Those dreams
the alligator died.
Canon, TJ.
No,
died.
they're in Robin's head.
The alligator died.
All I remember is he killed an alligator. I didn't know it was a dream.
Yeah, it was an alligator in Robin's dream because he said it was the size of a. Yes, he has killed other animals.
He actually has killed the same thing he's about to kill.
Yeah, that's right. He did. He did.
I think he's killed. Didn't he choke out a cheetah one time too?
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, he did. But we think that was just knocked out.
I don't know. I remember the one with the giant T-Rex robot. There were a lot of animals he killed in that one.
Yeah, he did kill, and he killed an alligator once.
And he killed an alligator. Yes.
Anyway, at the exhibition sports show, Penguin shows up with a couple of horses that his grooms stole from the Horn and Hunt Club stables, which I guess means they're elite jumping horses. And the guy just lets them in and says, "Okay, I guess you can go in." Sucky security, but whatever. So Penguin and his goons ride through the halls of the expedition and pull a gun on the guy and say, "Give me all the trophies." And apparently the trophies are, engraved with diamonds and emeralds and rubies. I don't think I've ever seen a trophy with precious jewels in it.
I've never been to no.
You've never been sport hunting.
Horse, yeah, I've never been to that stuff.
It seems a bit much.
I'll be honest, I've never seen one either. So I can't. I will give you. I've never seen them, but apparently this is pretty extravagant here.
When I used to go to sport hunting events, I always saw those kind of trophies.
Okay. And apparently there's a trophy from Louis XIII.
See,
that's what it says.
But that one's not even extravagant. It's just a silver pot looking.
Are they reusing trophies? Is that what they're doing?
I don't know. What's going on here?
It said the sign says famous sporting trophies of history.
Oh, so it's like a trophy convention.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I didn't even want to go into it because it was stupid.
Well, they always have parties about everything.
I know, that's why I didn't complain about it this time. I reached my limit when we talked about the flower convention last week.
Yeah, we got a trophy convention this week. Okay.
Every week, Batman goes to some convention. So
I didn't understand what was going on. I thought it was a sporting event. Now I really don't understand why they let them walk by with horses.
Right, yeah, there should have been no horses brought in.
Yeah, why? I thought it was some kind of they're going to hunt on these horses or something. But no, it's like an event, and the horses don't even belong there.
I don't know. Batman shows up with the dogs, though, and lets them loose on them, because, that's what you do.
The dogs are his buddy now, yeah.
Wait, he lets angry, hungry dogs loose in the convention. It's not just the bad guys in there. Everybody is in there.
Yeah, but the dogs know to go after just the penguin, though.
Yeah, the ones that beat them.
Yeah, the bad guys.
Because Batman had time to train them to do that in the last
He said,
hour.
He said it very nicely to them. Only by bad guys. Yeah.
Do you think Batman's got, what's his name from Jessica Jones, the bad guy?
Oh, yeah, Purple Man or whatever.
The Purple Man powers. Do you think he's got Purple Man powers when it comes to animals? Is that what this is?
Yeah, he just tells
animals and plants.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, maybe because the next couple panels, something else happened.
I can't wait for the next one.
I forgot.
So
I can't wait for this.
So one of the crooks climbs a tree in a
Inside the exhibit.
Inside the exhibit, there's a camp exhibit. And for some reason, they got this poor live raccoon chained to the tree.
Chained to the tree limb that is like 10 foot in the air. It is chained onto the tree limb.
And it doesn't even look like the raccoon can get down. It looks like it's stuck up there. These people are cruel.
It would hang itself.
If it falls off the branch, it's dead. It's hanging by its neck.
Well, anyway, a camping exhibit without a live raccoon in a tree.
Without a live raccoon chained to the tree branch. You can't have it.
And just so happens the guy climbs up that tree. He didn't see the sign. The sign says live raccoon in tree.
It does.
Well, he climbs it, and the raccoon attacks the guy. Meanwhile, the other goon is about to shoot Robin, but Robin, I don't know, kicks... What's he kick there?
Is this outside?
No, this is inside. This is an exhibit.
Robin, the guy falls into a campfire.
A burning campfire.
No, and Robin punches him into the campfire.
Yep.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Batman hits another guy with a paddle from a canoe, and Penguin...
That's a weird thing. Did you see what Batman says?
It says when a canoe paddles a man, that's news.
What does that even mean?
It means you normally you use the paddle to use the canoe, but when no, it's a Batman joke. They're all terrible.
In Soviet Russia, canoe paddles you.
I don't think we're allowed to talk about Russia these days.
No, we're not. We're going to keep going right
We got a couple years. We got a couple years until this comes out, so you're good.
Yeah,
That's fair.
Hopefully it's all over by then, so go ahead. You might have to edit that part out.
I said Soviet Russia.
No, I said maybe you have to edit out the part where I said we got a couple years before this comes out.
Alright, so Penguin notices this isn't going well, so he takes his horse, jumps over a thing, and then he starts to run away. And then Batman and Robin suddenly got horses, and they chase after him.
Yeah, they know how to ride horses, too. They know everything.
I know. They're just fantastic.
They train dogs in, like, the blink of an eye.
So, Penguin's riding the horse through the streets, through traffic. A cop sees this and tries to blockade him with his car, but Penguin just jumps over him, and then dogs jump over him, and then Batman and Robin jump over him. He says that's it. Tomorrow he's transferring to the mounted horse division.
They went for the television, like... The joke when everybody's going by the same cop and he's like ducking and he's ducking. It don't work really in comic books. No. But I understand what they were doing. It was like a Three Stooges thing where the guy keeps getting hit with a pot. You know, everybody that goes by does something to him, and then he's like, "I'm out of here. I quit."
Yeah, I'm changing my job tomorrow.
Yeah, it don't really work in comic books because you don't really get it. You're like, "Oh, okay, now I see."
And so then the Penguin rides up to an outside restaurant, I think, and...
Or is it an umbrella convention? I'm not sure.
No, because there's a waiter... I
just thought they were having an umbrella convention.
It's an outdoor restaurant.
Because the waiter there says he serves rich women's Pekingese pups. Is that what I think that means?
No, he's like... Rich people have brought their dogs to eat.
Oh, okay. Because he's not feeding rich women actual dogs.
No.
That's what I thought.
You thought he meant he served them Pekingese pups.
Yeah. That's what I thought was going on there. Okay, I see what it is.
This guy made a joke. Like, I've served dogs before. I've never had to serve horses. Like
the penguins.
Okay, yes. I thought he was feeding rich people dogs, so...
I still like the umbrella convention.
Still looks like one too, by the way.
It does. It really does.
There's a lot of people there too.
It's just outdoor tables with umbrellas.
He was joking.
Well, everything's a convention.
He was just saying how they have conventions.
I know, but I get what he was joking. It's just, it would make more sense if, like, everyone was just holding an umbrella. That would be an umbrella convention. But
I don't even see people at all.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's a table umbrella.
It is table umbrellas.
Yeah, is that better? There's people, they show up afterwards because the penguin's going to shoot into the crowd.
Yeah, it's the next panel after the penguin shows down on the next page, Lump. There's a whole crowd behind Batman.
No, I see that, but I'm saying, like, they're not around the tables. That crowd,
yeah, I know.
Like I don't coming from somewhere else.
Yeah, not allowed. It's part of the convention. They got a block roped off.
No, it's just not open yet.
It's just an umbrella exhibit.
Yeah, okay.
No, because an exhibit, well, you're still allowed to see the exhibit. You're
not in yet.
It's closed. That's what I said.
There's a velvet rope around them, so you can only look from outside the velvet rope.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Anyway, Penguin says he's going to shoot a bunch of people if Batman doesn't get off his horse and tell those dogs to go away. So Batman gets off his horse, grabs the rope, which I guess is connected to all the tables.
It's wrapped around them.
And it is wrapped around them. It's wrapped around them, surrounded by a fountain. What is this thing?
It's an umbrella convention. I told you it's an umbrella.
He told you already.
I already told you.
You're not listening.
Around the fountain. You gotta go look and say, that is a nice umbrella. Look at that.
Very nice umbrella exhibit.
I never even looked at what was going on here. This is ridiculous. I don't even know what this is supposed to be.
That's why I said it.
It's just an outdoor space for people to eat dinner. It's roped off so you don't have just people walking through. His horse jumps over the rope, and then Batman grabs it, which makes it pull all of them in like a lasso. It pulls all the tables towards him.
Yeah, but are all the ropes like connected to the tables that
yes.
It makes it do that?
No, they're on poles but wrapped around it, so when he pulls it, it pulls it in like a lasso.
Okay. All right,
they're vintage umbrellas. They don't want anybody touching them.
Whatever. This spooks the horse.
Stupid because what happened?
Yeah, I know. This whole story's stupid. But the horse gets spooked and bucks Penguin into the fountain. And he's like, he does a Scooby-Doo and says, "You blasted meddlers. If it hadn't been for you," he literally says that.
Made millions if it hadn't been for you meddling kids. Meddling young fools.
Kids. And then he takes the mask off the dog and it's the Flash.
But to be fair to the Penguin, this is still 20 years before Scooby-Doo. But anyway, Batman says he's going to put him in some nice dry horizontal stripes, so...
And he does.
Well, never mind. It's not important. Anyway, the next day, the Penguin's mad at the warden and saying it's his fault because he talked the Penguin into stop using his umbrellas, and he was foiled by umbrellas. and then it ends with
I love it.
With the dumbest reveal. Bruce is reading the paper and saying that the Penguin's catcher, and then it's Robin or Dick is saying that it's funny how Penguin got beat by his umbrellas, and then Bruce reveals that he set this whole thing up. He knew that the Penguin's weakness was vanity, so he set up this whole thing so that the Penguin would come listen to this speech and cause him to stop using umbrellas.
What? Where do you even see all this?
He says it.
Yeah, he says, "Is it true that you got the warden to make fun of Penguin's umbrellas, hoping to goad him into overachieving himself?"
Yes,
Wait,
and he...
okay, I got you.
So, I wish they didn't put that in. That actually kind of ruined it for me. Like,
right.
I actually liked how clever they were with the umbrella thing at the end. With the umbrellas at the table and using it to, like, corral him, he gets beat by it. I actually thought that was pretty clever. I know it was far-fetched and it was weird, but I liked how they used it where he got beat by umbrellas.
The story
basically
was fine up until this one paragraph. Because
yeah, I wish they didn't do that. They ruined it.
Because it is because it's believable that the Penguin would go to this lecture just to hear himself be bragged about.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah.
But the fact that Bruce decided to make the warden do this lecture and knew that the Penguin was just going to show up. How did he know the Penguin was still even in the city? Maybe he ran to another city at this point.
Yeah, that's like I said, I liked this story and I actually thought it was interesting.
Don't get me wrong, the story is ridiculous and there's a lot of stupidity involved in it. But I agree. It was fine for what it was up until this point.
They ruined it with that.
I honestly, I didn't even get what they were saying until you guys just said it. Thanks for ruining the whole story for me. I like that one.
I liked it. I still liked it. I just kind of didn't pay attention to the end panel.
It's just, why do you have to make Bruce seem like this? He knows everything everywhere. He's true.
The greatest detective.
But there is no detective work in that. It was just like, we're just going to say these things happen and they happen because we say so.
Yeah, it's weird for him to say, like, he set the Penguin up to go to that lecture. Like, that don't make sense to me.
All right. Who was in this one?
Oh, man, I forgot I had to do that again. No, I didn't this time. I'm good. Wait, that's the Rogues pageant. That ain't the right one. Okay. The Penguin goes a-hunting. Feature characters, Batman and Robin. And then it says Penguin. And then it says Turk and Lefty both have single appearances. And we got a lot of other characters, at least 5 here. They're all single appearances except for Tyrus Wolf apparently comes back. Warden Keys, Mr. Gullet, Mr. Throckmorton, and Miss Meacham all have single appearances. But it says Tyrus Wolf, but it doesn't say single appearance for him.
Is that the kid or the...
Again. That's the kid, I think. Tyrus sounds like the kid.
It doesn't say it doesn't say single appearance, but there's not a link for him.
Yeah, you can't click him either, so I don't know. Maybe he's coming up. Maybe it's going to be a new Tyrus.
No, I just don't. I think they got lazy and decided they weren't going to do single appearance.
So locations, we had Gotham City and Wayne Manor, and then items, the Penguin's umbrella, and the Batmobile.
Okay. Anything else to say on that one?
It was awesome, and Batman's a good dog trainer.
I liked it. Buy stamps and war bonds.
Yeah, buy more stamps. Don't worry, it's going to come on the next prize page.
I flipped the page, and that's how I said it.
Sorry, I don't know what this is. All right, going on to the third story called Rogues Pageant. Lumpy's turn, right?
Yes.
Go for it.
I was a little bit disappointed because when I read this, I thought, oh man, Rogues Pageant. This means we're going to get lots of bad guys. Didn't happen. So there's an American flag. And it's kind of like setting up like an old-timey town. And Batman and Robin are leading the parade that's walking through the town. And Robin is spinning a baton. Batman is dragging 2 guys. They both still have guns in their hands. There's a marching band behind them. Big drum. People are watching. It's like a parade going on. 2 American flags on this page. 3 American flags on this. Also for victory, buy United States war bonds and stamps.
Was it war bonds and stamps or stamps and war bonds?
This says, buy United States war bonds and stamps.
War bonds and
Black Batman, red Batman writing with Robin, the Boy Wonder.
Yeah, I am not seeing anything about Tyrus Wolf other than this comic.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to look too. I was looking, I can't find any Tyrus Wolves anywhere.
Yeah, no. I typed in Tyrus Wolf DC Comics, and for some reason the New Gods and Steppenwolf came up.
Love Steppenwolf.
Oh, Tyrus Steppenwolf. That's why.
No, Steppenwolf is a general for Steppenwolf is general for Darkseid.
Steppenwolf's a band.
Yeah, it is a band. Magic Carpet Ride. They sing Magic Carpet Ride.
I don't know.
I'm not drinking this episode. I'm not singing.
Oh.
And then for some reason it has a link to this comic, but like, you know how they have that one thing and then underneath it it's like a sub-link for it normally? And for some reason the sub-link is a character named Knockout, some female character I've never even heard of, who is apparently part of the New God. So I don't know why that's why Tyrus Wolf keeps coming up, because of Steppenwolf. Because it had the wolf in it. It's reading the wolf part of it.
Oh, you just figured that out? I knew that's why it came up.
No, I did not.
You said Tyrus Wolf and Steppenwolf in the same sentence. There's wolf at the end.
Yeah, I did. I just clicked. Okay, that's why that happened. Anyway, I don't know. Don't know anything about it. We're just going to assume that's a single appearance, because otherwise something else would have came up at some point.
Yeah, it must be, and they just didn't write single appearance.
Yeah. All right. So you did the splash page, right?
Yep, Rogues Pageant.
Yeah, don't say rogues. It kind of made me a little angry, too.
It upset me when I read the story. Not that the story was bad. I just thought it was going to be in Rogues Gallery. Like
you thought it was going to be actual characters?
Yeah, I thought we were going to get some. Yeah, but we didn't get it.
No, see, you forget. We already got the Penguin. You get one Rogues Gallery per Batman episode.
True. You're right.
I get it, but I got excited when they wrote Rogues Pageant.
It's one guy who's already in the gallery, and then one guy who maybe we can try to use later.
Who only shows up
but
once.
Never do. Yeah.
But never do. Right, exactly.
So I guess they replaced the obligatory PSA stories with the obligatory Alfred story.
Is that what's going on here? Instead of the PSAs, we're getting Alfred. But this ain't even an Alfred story, really.
Well, I know, but
not. He's in it, but it's not an Alfred.
But, he's in it. That's my point.
Yeah.
Because we open up with Alfred yelling at Bruce and Dick. They're apparently going on vacation. Go ahead.
Why, when we show Alfred, do we have to explain who he is every time?
Because technically it's only like the third time we've seen him.
It really is. It really is. You're right. I'm sorry. I apologize.
So Alfred is yelling at them because they're going on vacation, but Alfred knows their shit. He knows they're going to take their suits on them and not go on vacation.
Yeah, he's like, you guys are never going to f***ing relax. Oh, I'm cursing now. You're never going to relax if you...
Not even drinking and you're cursing.
Don't worry, T's going to put a Batman... every time I curse.
No, I'm not. I have an obligatory bleep that I use, and I'm going to continue using it. But, yeah, so they're like, fine, we're not going to take our suits. And Alfred's hid them anyway, so they're not going to find them. But, as they get in the car, they're like, haha, there were spare suits he hid. We're actually wearing our costumes underneath.
I like that Batman's like, I'm already wearing my costume, and Robin's like, yeah, me too.
They're both opening their jackets to show.
Yeah, they're all cool about it.
So, I don't understand why did they just tell Alfred we got a case outside of the city.
Because Alfred wants them to go relax. He's tired of them.
But this isn't a vacation. They take like 30... I think they're on vacation on the next issue.
Well, they need a lot of vacations. They're Batman and Robin.
They don't even have jobs.
They're already on vacation. Why don't you just tell them this time this isn't a vacation? We have to go stop some criminals.
He's got to be a playboy by day and Batman by night. Not to take a lot of vacations.
Not to Alfred.
Well,
I'm just saying, he could say, hey, Alfred, we need to go stop these criminals in another city because they robbed this place. We need our bat suit and we'll be back in 2 days. And then we wouldn't have this problem.
Story. Maybe we didn't get the whole story. Maybe Batman's doctor said he needs a vacation, and Alfred's trying to make sure he does.
No, because we do a flashback immediately after this.
Well, also, maybe they're trying to trick Alfred, because Alfred keeps hounding them to go on vacation. They're like, fine, let's just tell him we're going on vacation.
Because Alfred thinks he's a tough guy. Maybe they're afraid he's going to show up and try to help.
Well, he's going to show up at the end, from now on anyway. He says so at the end of this.
Did he say that? Does he say it at the end of this? He's going to show up.
Anyway, so they're going to the Southwest. I don't remember where. It does it somewhere.
No, they're flying out on Southwest.
No, they're not. They drive there. Oh, they're driving there, and I know they're driving there because they say they wouldn't just take a vacation trip willy-nilly because there's gas and rubber are scarce these days.
Yeah, they must be having a problem. Yeah, it sounds like right now.
Yeah.
They must be having a problem with gas prices and stuff right now.
Well, no, it's the war, and, you have to conserve the rubber for the war effort and the gas. Right. So, you gotta make sure. Anyway, so they go to... Oh, no, we cut back in time to, like, a few hours ago, I guess. And Batman and Robin are swinging past Clock Tower for some reason. And they just happen upon a bank robbery. Right? It's a bank robbery? Yeah, the robbery.
Yeah, it's a robbery. Some kind of robbery. Yeah, it's a bank robbery.
So they jump down and they beat up the bad guys. But the bad guys get in their car and start to drive away. But one of them gets caught by Robin. And he says he's never going to talk. But the boss says we can't have him talking. So he tries to shoot him as they drive away. And he says, now
wasn't even going to talk. It's a shame. The guy was actually being a stand-up criminal. And they shot at him anyway. So no wonder this guy acts like that.
And so now he tells... Oh, no, he didn't shoot at him. He actually does shoot him.
Yeah, he kills him.
Yeah.
He shoots him, but before he dies, he tells them that they're going to Santo Pablo, and then dies. And so they go to Santo Pablo. But at Santo Pablo, there is a big torchlight pageant tonight. I have no idea what that is, but apparently it's happening.
It's a torch convention.
No, it's more of a costume convention because everyone's dressed up in costumes.
It's weird because Robin says, what does he say? I love costume parties or something. I got a weakness for costume parties. Let's mix in with the crowd.
Yeah, it's apparently the 300th anniversary of this place. I don't know.
It's a costume convention.
Yes. Anyway, they see a museum and Robin says he wants to go to the American History Museum for class because it'll help him with class. So they visit an exhibit about Indians. Apparently this museum's just displaying gold nuggets for people to steal.
Expensive too, hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, they just have these sitting there, and they're like, and Bruce is like, I hope the security guards keep their eyes on this, and then as soon as they leave, the place gets robbed of their gold nuggets.
Yeah,
because they're idiots.
Well, because they got gold nuggets laying around. Really, it's not just Gotham; it's everywhere in the 40s that were idiots.
You wouldn't just make fake ones to put on display and say this is how much it looked like for what's sake, because that's what they're saying that this is what saved the town.
You're smarter than the guys that had that museum.
Well, yeah, they failed. So minutes later, the place is robbed.
I'm just taking in the fact that you compliment him when he says something like that, but you always go against me anytime I make a comment like
that. because you're more fun to make angry. You get all angry and yell.
My stuff is logic, TJ.
Okay.
Yours is based on your angry opinion. Okay.
He paused and sighed, and I'm like, "What is going on with TJ right now?" TJ, if you said that, I would have said the same thing.
Sure you would have.
No, you
wouldn't have. You would have given me some spiel of how they needed to have the gold nuggets in the museum for whatever reason so that people can view them or whatever. And then you would have told me it's a gold nugget convention and...
It is a gold nugget convention.
It is a gold nugget convention.
Alright, moving on. So, there's a commotion outside of a bank, and this is a really stupid idea.
This is a great idea. No, I'm just kidding. I just wanted to argue with you. It is a stupid idea.
So
TJ, that's good. You said it's a stupid idea.
No. Forget it.
Is it too late? It's too late.
It's too late. Anyway, so they're having a reenactment of a famous bank robbery at the actual bank.
A real bank?
Yes.
Yeah, this is a stupid idea.
You can't do it somewhere else. You got to do it in the bank where it happened. It would be a historic reenactment.
Yeah, I guess. Anyway, they say that the people that are going to do this have ID cards and are starting at police headquarters, so nothing could possibly go wrong.
Yeah, no, it's going to be fine.
This is just going to go off without a hitch. Anyway, so the robbers come, and they shoot up in the air and shoot a bat out of the sky.
Yeah, and that's how they figure it out. That's weird, too.
Yeah. Bruce is like, come on, Dick, we gotta get changed. And Dick's like, why? She said, because that bat just fell out of the sky and it's got a bullet hole in them. They're real robbers. They don't have blanks in those guns.
Plus, they shot a bat. We gotta get them.
Okay.
Right, it's the omen. The omen of the bat.
No, see, I would agree with you, except Batman has no qualms with stuffing bat in boxes and then stapling them to letters and stuff.
True, this is true.
Well, he's allowed to kill him. Nobody else is.
Oh, okay. Anyway, in the bank, the teller is like, this is okay, here's the fake money. And then the robber's like, no, you're going to give me the real stuff. And they proceed to rob them because they're idiots.
And don't miss a nickel.
Meanwhile, Batman and Robin come in and start beating up the robbers. But one of the robbers hits the alarm and says, hey, they're not Batman and Robin. They're trying to rob the bank.
They're faking. They're dressed like Batman and Robin.
And so
Batman
the
and
security...
Robin get arrested.
Yep, they get arrested. Meanwhile, sometime later, in a cellar, a cop finds that, the real actors are tied up down there because they got their suits stolen off of them. Because God. That was never a possibility.
What? It must have really been Batman and Robin. We arrested the wrong guys and never took their costumes off their faces.
That too.
Can't unmask Batman.
It's not Batman. They thought it was a crook.
Even if it's a fake one.
I distinctly remember, 50 episodes ago, probably more, an imposter Batman shooting cops and murdering them, escaping a flying bar, and then getting shot to death, and then the cops unmasking him at the end to reveal that it's not really Batman.
But they unmask him right away. Like Batman, even if he was shot, they would let him lay there and never unmask him.
To be fair, that does happen in the newest Batman movie that just came out.
Does it really?
Yeah, in the middle of a police station.
He's in there with his mask on and nobody ever asked him to take it off?
No, he got blown up and it was unconscious. They had him unconscious in the police station.
That's good. That's good, though, because that really does happen in all the comic books, all the cartoons. That's
it happens.
Awesome that they did that.
I mean, the explanation is Jim Gordon doesn't let them do it, but...
Right.
But it does happen everywhere. It's a trope for sure.
It is. It's pretty good, actually, that they do that.
Alright, so the cops are apologizing to Batman. He's like, And the one cop's like, don't tell the newspapers, this will embarrass us. And he's like, I would never embarrass you, police. You guys are the greatest. Apparently not.
Really hard.
You just arrested the wrong people, and apparently every police station in this country in this time are idiotic.
Yeah.
Because Gotham, we already established Gotham PD is just useless without Batman. I'm not sure what they're going to do since he's out of town right now.
Where is Santo Pablo?
I have no idea.
It sounds like California.
It does sound like California, you're right.
But do you also remember that one town that was taken over by criminals?
Yes.
So
The
it's
Western Town or whatever it was?
I don't know. It was like the mayor was a criminal, and they had all crooked cops and stuff, and they were they were letting kids gamble in candy stores.
I remember the story. I don't know which one it was.
I don't know
I
which one it was, but this is just a common thing in that area of things. I just looked up Santa Pablo, and it did not give me what I expected to see.
That's what I'm doing too. And it was like, it's only giving me San Pablo. It does say San Pablo, California, though.
Oh, okay. I got something called Paul of Burgos. He was a Spanish Jew who converted to Christianity and became an archbishop.
Wow, he was a Spanish Jew who converted to Christianity and became a bishop.
Yes, he is known as Pablo de Santa Maria. Oh.
Wow.
So, that's what I got when I typed that in.
I got San Pablo, California. I guess Santo and San are the same thing.
Oh, you know why I got that?
Because it's Spanish for St. Paul.
No, because I typed in Santa, not Santo.
Ah.
This is good podcasting, talking about our Google
I'm
searches.
like, I don't know where you guys are. I don't know where Santa Pablo would come in. Or Santa.
That's where Batman is, Santa Pablo.
Yeah, they're
but I'm guessing that Santa Pablo is a made-up place like Gotham.
Well, San Pablo is in California.
I mean, that's true, but, it's usually based on something, so...
So maybe it is San Pablo. But I'm like, I've never heard of Santo Pablo, so I'm
It sounded familiar to me, that's why
There's a lot of Santos, so... I don't know.
There's
Guess
no
what?
Santos.
Nobody cares.
No, this is just a pointless rant on the side.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Batman said he's not going to tell the newspapers that the cops are incompetent because they don't need to know that. They already do. They already know.
Yeah, they know.
Meanwhile, Batman sits in an office and starts doing arts and crafts.
And won't tell Robin what he's doing. So but he's like, Batman, people would think you were crazy for cutting out paper dolls. And he's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, you go stand there in the corner while I cut these bats out of this paper.
Shut up.
No.
Go call the commissioner and tell him I need flashlights. And don't ask no more questions, you little dork.
Well, yeah, pretty
out of
much.
here.
He says he needs a dozen powerful searchlights.
Yeah.
So that's happening. So later, there's a parade, and there's like an Indian and a knight and cowboys and
And they
Spanish.
talk about Wawa.
Yeah, and ghosts of the past. Risen ghosts of the past.
Spanish conquistadors,
And Wawa. I like Wawa.
I love Wawa.
and so forth and so forth. So it's just a parade.
Yeah. It's
Meanwhile-
a convention.
Wow. Just call it what it is. It's Comic-Con.
It's Comic-Con.
Anyway, Batman and Robin are hanging it up in a belfry because that's what you do.
Because they're bats in a belfry, get it?
I'm just confused by this whole town.
What? They're partying.
Yeah, but the town itself, like, it looked like an old western town. They got this little tiny bank, and now they have, like, a giant belfry. Like, I'm just confused by the town.
You're
Now it looks like
confused-
they're in a big city.
You're confused by this western town, but not all the other ones that we've come across.
Well, they all kept the same theme of, like, short buildings that look like towns. This one has, like, in the beginning you see, like, small stuff, but now in the background, they're giant buildings like they're in a city.
Well, the church usually has a bell tower, so maybe it's just a church bell tower.
I don't know.
I
Listen,
don't think
I don't
it's supposed to be a
understand.
western town. I don't think it's supposed to. I think it's just they have this convention going on.
I guess you're right. They had a clock tower.
Yeah, they had all kinds of stuff. They had a museum and stuff.
I don't like this. Go on.
I'm just waiting for you to get done.
I'm getting them both mixed up. I was just going to tell you that they were having a convention with a canoe and a raccoon in a tree.
Umbrella convention.
Yeah, bro, it's not even the same comic. That's all right, because after the bell tower, we're getting into a novel, so...
Yes, we are.
So, the bad guys are taking advantage of this by setting up explosives against buildings, and they start blowing up buildings, and the people think it's an earthquake for some reason.
Because they're in
Apparently
California.
they set up dynamite.
They're in California. There's a lot of earthquakes.
They set up dynamite, buildings explosion. Why would they think it's an earthquake?
Because they have earthquakes every day there.
Yeah, in Santo Pablo, it's big.
Poor Santo Pablo gets a lot of earthquakes.
Whatever. Anyway, the people are freaking out, so they're rampaging through the streets, which we just did this story.
Yeah.
I agree.
I do feel like we did just do the story, too.
They really are taking the copy and pasting to a whole new degree. So the bad guys start throwing dynamite against banks and stuff, so they start robbing all the places while this is happening, as the cops are trying to deal with everything. But the Batman made sure that some, 50 cops are dressed up in the crowd so that they were free to do the search for the criminals. And so now the criminals are being attacked by Indians with bow and arrows and Spanish conquistadors with maces and stuff. And those Batman arts and crafts were so that he could put them on flashlights so he can have makeshift bat signals to summon to show them where the bad guys were, because he would never be able to find them in this giant city.
I think he loves getting that bat signal put in the sky, too.
Yeah, but why didn't he just wander the streets and find them like he did in every other story?
Well, all he had to do was walk around because they bump into him. So
yeah, that's my whole point.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. He's just wandering around. He's got like a criminal magnet, so he could just wander around the town and pick them all up.
Well, then after the lights go up, they basically do that anyway. Like, okay, so the lights go up, and then they wander the streets to find out where the lights are coming.
They had to have these bat signals because they didn't want to tell anybody that Batman was just doing arts and crafts in that room by himself for no reason.
I got to figure out how to use these bats I cut out this morning.
I just can't help myself. I cut bats out. What am I going to do with all these bats?
They caught me cutting out bats. Now I got to use them.
Yeah, Robin said he thought I was going batty. Now I got to figure something out to do with these stupid things.
Oh, man. The one guy's about to throw a grenade, and then Batman shows up and takes it. And then there's a fight where Batman and Robin beat up the bad guys. And so the bad guys are caught. So Batman climbs a street sign, right?
Yeah, light post or something.
And he says, "Listen to me, there's no danger." And he's like, "What do you mean there's no danger? That was an earthquake." And he's like, "It was just explosions. Like, that's better."
Yeah, it's not an earthquake. Just all the buildings around you have just been blown up. No danger.
It's not earthquakes, it's dynamite. That's better.
And they're like, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's all, okay." I guess he used his persuasive voice that he used against the dogs.
It worked.
Anyway, so now they're part of the parade, Batman and Robin. They're going through it. And then they go home, and they're like, and Alfred's like, "I know you were Batman and Robin in another town. And that's it. I am leaving. I'm packing my belongings." And they're like, "Don't leave." Which I don't get. This is only like the third time he's here. And in when we met Alfred, they were trying to get rid of him. I would have been like, why are you still here?
They can't get rid of him now because they found out he knows that they're Batman and Robin. Now
they have to keep an eye on him.
They might have to kill him if he's going to leave. They might have to murder him.
Oh, I see. You're right. But and they're like, "You can't leave, Alfred." And he's like, "I'm not leaving. I'm just going to go with you on your next adventure when you leave town." And they're like, "Oh, that's different because he's a criminologist, you see." The end.
Yeah, so he's got stuff packed for next time. That's what he was.
Yeah. Are they planning on leaving on another vacation immediately afterwards?
Let me see the next comic. No, not yet.
Well, no, the next comic they actually are on vacation.
Oh, they are, right, that's right. They are on vacation.
But Alfred's not there.
Always on vacation.
But Alfred's not there.
I hope they didn't.
You are right.
I hope they didn't murder Alfred. Poor Ralph.
So my point is, so he packed these bags assuming that they're going to go. Now you're just going to have to unpack this bag because you're not going anywhere.
Right, yeah. Well, he's going to leave it packed in case, forever.
Oh, for the next time, I see.
Yeah, forever. He's going to have that in case he needs to run out the door.
Right, he's always prepared.
You know, it is true. Batman and Bruce and Dick never do bring bags with them when they go on the vacation. They just get in the car and go.
Yeah, and they always have that bat suit either under themselves. Like, even when they say they're going to get changed, like, where did they keep it? In the trunk?
I don't know, but you remember that one issue where Batman kept Robin in the trunk for the entire...
I do remember that issue.
Yes, I do.
That was a good one. So,
anyway.
Appearing in Rhodes Pageant, we got Batman and Robin, supporting characters Alfred Beagle, and then
final appearance.
Final appearance. Antagonists, we got Ducky Mallard and Daisy Dickens. But Daisy Dickens dies, apparently. That's the guy that apparently they shot, I guess, right?
Oh, yeah, it is. He's the one that they killed. And he's the one who tells them where they're going.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Other characters, we got Santa Pablo Police, Officer Rourke, and Officer Connors. And then locations, it says Gotham City, Wayne Manor, and then it says Santo Pablo, single appearance. They never go back to Santo Pablo again.
Yeah, because it's a terrible place. Why would you want to
plus
it sucks.
They blew up all the buildings with dynamite. So.
Well, and apparently that's even better than an earthquake, so.
Safer.
Yeah.
All right. Our last story today is Adventure of the Vitamin Vandals. Lumpy, what's happening on the splash page?
There's a giant, and he's got a giant Tommy gun, and he's towing boats with ropes in his hand. And Batman is swinging down from the bat plane to cut one of the ropes.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
I'm like, he's standing in the water. He's a giant.
Yeah,
he has a question mark on his face.
He's got like a purple fishing gear on or something, right?
Yes.
All right. I guess we could dive into this one proper. So he put up on a fishing boat, and the fisherman has brought in a big haul. They caught 25 tons of fin sharks whose liver contain more vitamin A than any other fish of the sea. I don't know if that's true, but it's a big part of this plot.
Apparently, it's a big deal.
Yeah. And
anyway.
What is fin soup?
I don't know. Anyway.
Never heard of it?
No.
This haul is worth $37,500, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is 1940s.
It's 30 trillion, billion, quadrillion dollars, just so you know. I looked it up.
That doesn't sound like you looked it up at all.
Shark fin soup is a traditional soup or stew dish served in parts of China, Taiwan, and Southeast Asia.
I thought it was China, shark fin soup. But they just use the fin and waste the whole rest of the shark?
Apparently it is prized in Chinese culture.
The liver is rich with vitamin A.
I was on a boat one time and somebody caught a shark and they said they were going to keep it. And the captain of the boat, said, "Ew, you can't eat that. Sharks pee through their skin and they taste like ammonia."
I don't know if that's true.
But I have no idea if it's true.
I think you were on the boat with me, Chris.
I think we were. Somebody wanted to keep the dogfish.
But I did see Andrew Zimmern on the Food Network. He was in Sweden and they were eating these sharks, but they would hang them for months at a time in this like tent because they had to get the ammonia out. And he said it still tastes like ammonia.
Well, one time I ate shark jerky.
Yeah.
It was the most disgusting thing
I've
ever. And I eat everything.
Yeah, me too. I had mako shark before.
Mako's not bad. I've had shark steaks and stuff, but this jerky was
gross.
Foul.
What, fishy? Was it really fishy?
It was. I can't even describe it as fishy. It was just
weird.
Gross. It was, yeah.
I know a friend of mine who does fishing for a living does catch sharks. So
yeah, people do. And I'm guessing they eat it.
He makes money off of it, so
right.
I can't find anything about fin sharks being
vitamin A.
No, vitamin A. I see nothing.
And just to be clear, $37,500 in 1941 is $330,000.
No, trillion, billion, million, or whatever I said the first time. I don't remember what I said, but
330,000. Anyway, now that we got our facts straight about 1940s stuff, let's continue on. So, these fishermen are all armed, and they're worried about the Phantom Raiders? Yeah, the Phantom Raiders, who are a group of people who are robbing fishing boats for reasons. Anyway, so they got the water covered, and they're looking around, just 40s Phantom Raiders, and they just show up behind them. And they hold him at gunpoint, they put him in the thing, the captain asks his crew, who betrayed him? And they're like, no one betrayed anybody, we just got boarded from behind somehow. And he was like, how could that happen? Well, guess what? We're gonna sneak up on them like they snuck up on us. And they break through the door and go up on the ship, and the guys are gone with all the shark fins. And there's no boat to be seen.
There's no wake, no nothing, there's no way to say where they came from or where they went.
So did you guys figure it out?
No, I didn't, actually. I liked this story because it kept it for me. I didn't figure it out.
I don't think, no, you know what? I didn't either. I was, in my head, I think I did, but I did when I read it the first time, I didn't.
Because I thought my first instinct was airplane,
Right.
and then my second instinct was submarine. So
I never even actually thought of submarine. I thought about airplane, but my thought was the sound would destroy it.
right. But so those were my initial thoughts, but it's not what we get though. So
No, it's not. I liked it.
meanwhile, after that happens, Bruce and Dick are just on vacation at a beach because
they're relaxing because Alfred told them they had to.
and they're at an exclusive Malibu beach.
Of course they are. They're rich.
So Dick's reading the paper about these robberies, and he says, "Well, I guess we got to go do this. Vacation's over." And so they go to the captain, and they offer their services to be a deckhand and a cabin boy. And the captain's like, this is the captain who just got robbed, by the way. He says, "Nah, I'm not going back out because we keep getting robbed." But then the guy he sells the fish to, the seller, offers to give him a $500 bonus per ton if he decides to do it. And that's too much money for the captain to not go out, so he hires Bruce and Dick, and we're off to the sea. And then it's just a bunch of nonsense about how Robin wants to be a fisherman and how it looks easy. And then they bring the sharks on board and start clubbing and spearing them and have a rifle on them. So
That's what they actually do.
they're not very nice to these sharks. And then one shark tries to eat Robin, and then Bruce shoots it with a rifle.
Points the gun at Robin.
Oh, that's true. He might have been trying to shoot Robin, and then the shark saved him. No, the shark saved him. The shark
saved Robin.
Anyway, so with that going on, Bruce and Dick hide in the lifeboat while everyone else is guarding. Do they not have jobs to do? Are they allowed to just hide?
That's why they're hiding. They don't want to do what they were supposed to be doing.
Okay. Anyway, one of the fishermen is signaling something with the light. So, and then all of a sudden, the Phantom Raiders show up, and one guy tries to shoot them, but they shoot him back. But then Batman and Robin show up, and they're like, "How did they get here?" And so Batman and Robin fight off the Phantom Raiders, and they disappear. Robin's like, "Where did they go?" And then Batman said, "They're up here." And Batman's all of a sudden on a rope ladder, and he's climbing up to a blimp. And that's how they got there.
Makes sense.
Huh?
A blimp actually makes sense. It'd be quieter. I don't know how they hide it.
I don't know if we've seen one already, but there's a lot of blimps in the Batman, like cartoons,
yes,
and things like that. Yeah,
we've talked about it before.
Yeah,
I actually tried to put that intro in, like a brief clip of that blimp thing from the animated series on our YouTube versions, and it got blocked. It blocked the entire video everywhere, so I had to mute I had to mute the music. So there's like a 3-second quiet moment in that podcast with just the blimps. And
that's insane.
Yeah.
But the last time Batman went on a blimp was when that Nazi Stalin Napoleon guy bombed New York and killed thousands of people.
Right.
Yeah.
And Batman had to crash his Batplane into the blimp to destroy it. So he should be a little bit scarred from blimps.
Batman's not scared of anything.
I didn't say scared, I said scarred.
Yeah, but that would make you scared if you were still scarred by something.
Nah. They just make you hesitant. Won't make you scared. Anyway, Batman climbs up to the blimp with Robin, and they get into a fight. They start beating him up, and then all the guys run into the cabin of the blimp and hit a button, and they just drop Batman and Robin out from the blimp.
Send them right out of it.
And that button is just for wherever Batman and Robin were? Is that what that button's for?
No, it's for the sandbags to come out so they can lower the blimp.
So the world's greatest detective didn't know he was standing on the sandbag trapdoor then?
Right.
Okay.
And for the first time, cold water does not wake up Robin as he gets knocked out.
Ooh.
Really? I didn't even notice that.
Because Robin gets knocked out from the fall. Batman doesn't. The cold water still works for Batman. And I think Robin's becoming immune to the cold water. That's bad news for Robin.
Dead. He looks like he's dead sitting there.
Anyway, Robin was knocked out for the 40th time here. And so Batman drags Robin up to the surface so he doesn't drown, and then the shark shows up. And then Batman happens to find a piece of driftwood to lay Robin on as he dives under and stabs a shark to death.
Well, he stabs a shark, and then the next time it looks like he's stabbing like a hammerhead shark, right?
Yeah, he filleted it open.
Oh, is that what that is? Is that what he's like?
I don't know.
Open?
It just does. Weird. It looks like it's.
Yeah, it looks
it's
really weird.
And then night falls, and then Batman shoots a flare. Why didn't he shoot a flare earlier? Oh, it's a flashlight.
It's his arts and crafts flashlight.
Yes.
Yeah, but it says miniature flare gun. So if it's a flare, you can use it any time, right? A flare works in daytime.
Yes, but why does this flare have a bat signal? How does your flare?
I was going to say it has this bat signal
because it's Batman. It's what he does.
Yeah,
he probably made the flare himself so that it would do that. Like how fireworks make different symbols in the air. Right. He probably figured out to do it just so he could put a bat in there.
It's actually a real bat that was in his flare.
Oh, that's possible too.
It's just
shoots a bat on fire up in the air.
Yes.
Anyway, the flare gets the attention of a ship that saves Batman, and the ship gets to shore before the boat they were on manages to get to shore. I don't know how that works, but whatever. Batman and Robin see the guy that signaled the blimp from earlier walking away, so they decide to follow him to where they're storing the blimp, which is in a warehouse. So they knock out the guard, and they stow aboard the blimp without anyone knowing that they're there. The bad guys are going to go pick up their boss, which happens to be the guy that sells the fish.
The fish, salesman.
Salesman. So, I don't know why he's doing this.
I don't understand. I was going to ask you.
Oh. Well, he's doing it because so every time these people go out, he has to pay them for their fish when they bring it back. And then he sells it and makes a profit off of it. But instead, he's stealing their cargo and he's selling it. He doesn't ever have to pay them. So he's basically getting them to do it, then he steals their fish and still sells it. Like, that's why he keeps telling them, I'll pay you $500 more per ton if you go out. He can offer them $1 million more per ton. He's just stealing it. So he has to entice them to keep going out, and he's getting it for free every time.
Yeah, but it's still a stupid plan because he's still selling the fish. His sales didn't go down. Which
is why it's a great plan, because he's making full profit now. He doesn't have to pay anything for his supply.
But my point is, Batman figures this plan out in like 3 seconds.
but if Batman didn't meddle...
Yeah,
I guess. Anyway, he already made a mistake. He's stealing the fish from the good people of the U.S. Army. They need their vitamin A.
They need their vitamin A. Listen, how are we going to have an army without vitamin A?
The thing is, Batman says that it doesn't make sense. The guy's still selling
the fish, I know.
So they're still getting their vitamin A.
But the vitamin A for the army is the problem we're worried about here.
No, because the fishermen are still selling their fish to him, and he's still selling the fish.
It's still going to the same place, but he's just making more money off of it.
He's just cutting out that middleman there. The supply chain's not being affected at all.
Okay, so we had to just mention about the army and the war. Okay.
But you know what? What about the other fish sellers? They're not getting it. So maybe it is affecting supply chains.
Maybe. I think we're not going to shove it down your throat, but we're going to mention it every once in a while.
It's affecting the fishermen. The fishermen aren't getting their money. That's what's happening. They're going out and fishing. But other than that, everybody else is normal life.
Except for the other people they might be selling to, because they're stealing all the fishermen's fish, right? So if other salesmen, if they're not getting their supply and being able to sell,
right? But the people who are getting it, supply chain is fine,
right? The supply chain. Well, not if you're forced to buy from the one guy, and maybe
he's got a monopoly.
But maybe he's not selling, he's still selling the same amount and holding the rest back, and it's not going out from all different... I don't know, I'm making excuses for this stupid comic when it's not necessary. Anyway, so the Phantom Raiders hit another boat, and this fish salesman went on the boat with them because he said he's going to stand up to these guys and let them do it. But no, the plan is for them to get him, pretend to kidnap him so they can all get away. I don't know why he needs to get on the boat and needs to go with them.
No, I don't understand that part either.
The only reason why he's there is so that Batman and Robin can arrest him.
Yeah.
He wants another load of fish. He needs to make it so that they want to go out and fish.
Why does he need to be on the ship?
It's an enticing thing. It's just a reason to get people, because people are scared to go out and go fish. And he's like, I'll fix this problem. Come on, we'll go out and go fish, and I'll make sure that everything's okay.
He's a small fat guy with no weapons.
But he's got the money, so he's the one that if he goes, then it must be okay.
Yeah, it must be okay. We're going to get paid, so.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. Batman and Robin descend on the ship from the blimp, and they beat up the Phantom Riders until Batman tackles the fishmonger, who says, why are you tackling me? And he says, well, you're the only one selling fish. You have to be behind it.
Oh,
Yeah, because since everybody's getting robbed, but this guy's still able to sell fish, he must be involved.
So, yeah, Batman explains everything, and then the next day, Dick's like, why are you being so lazy, Bruce? And Bruce has got a paper that says, a giant, huge paper that says, Vitamin Vandals Vanquish, and he says he's got to soak up the energy and take it easy. And then
that paper covers his entire body, except for his legs.
It is giant.
And that is the end of Vitamin Vandals Vanquish and Batman number 7.
That last panel doesn't say the end, so I kept looking for the next page.
I kept wondering if something was wrong. Like, I'm like, did I miss something?
Me too.
Yeah.
Nope. Who was in this one?
Apparently TJ was very tired. Featured characters, Batman and Robin. Antagonists, we got Phantom Raiders. It says single appearance, but then it says Lefty and it doesn't say single appearance, so I don't know. Then we got Archie Gibbons, single appearance. And then locations, California. Utility belt, and the vehicles are the Batplane.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Overall, readable.
Yeah.
Long-winded, but readable.
Definitely readable.
It wasn't the worst one we've read.
No.
No, I actually liked all of them. I honestly, I don't know if I'd say it was the best, but it was up there with one of my favorites, I would say.
We've been at the end of these Batmans like, what the hell was that crap? This was
was bad. This one was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's alright. I mean, it still has its problems, but, you know.
Of course, they all do, but it wasn't, terrible.
I liked it. I don't really have anything bad to say about any of the stories, so
there are too many
I'm happy for that. There's a lot of words.
Lots of words.
I guess that's that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright. You want to finish us off with a joke, Uncle Chris?
I'm running low on jokes here. What did they call Batman when he was little? Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne, like the even I think that one's bad.
Why don't you use the one you were saving then from last week?
I forgot what it was. What was
How
I
did
saving?
you not cut it off on that? How would you continue to record?
Because that one was so bad that he knew it was bad. It wasn't he wasn't self-aggrandizing on that one.
I was trying to get excuses for that.
I wanted him to sit in his own pity on that one.
I didn't even think that one was good. I couldn't even make excuses.
I laugh at all of them. That one was not.
Well, guess what? That was the only one that I hadn't told on the whole 77 page of Batman jokes.
Oh, potty mouth.
We're off the thing already. It's already done. Right?